So, hopefully, what we have learned by now is that the process of squaring the circle, although mathematically impossible to accomplish exactly due to the transcendental nature of pi, was a matter of commonplace estimation and approximations in the ancient world, and that, due to certain otherwise only irrational traits of very small number sums, in most cases these approximations were not at all inaccurate, such as in the case of the 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triple. Therefore, by combining the 45-degree diagonal expansion contraction rate of the square root of 2 with the 36-degree diagonal expansion contraction rate of phi, the golden ratio, we begin to understand how to square the circle as the ancients meant. Furthermore, it is equally not impossible that these ancients had calculated far more detailed estimations and approximations than we now know of simply from studying their remnant fragments of scrolls and rare extant artifacts of clay. Again, the fact that Giza Necropolis was ever erected at all, let alone with its renowned precision of accuracy, is testimony of the ancients' knowledge of much higher maths than we now realize. These same ancients should also be credited with the invention, or discovery, of these basic mathematical laws, and, although we may call them by the names of their modern reinventors or rediscoverers, the ancients were likely no less aware of these concepts, if only by different titles. For example, phi, that irrational factor of the Fibonacci sequence, being called from time immemorial the golden ratio. At its most basic core, the ancient concept of squaring the circle simply involves examining the formula for the area of a circle, A equals pi r squared, and comparing its results to the nearest whole number squared area. Although an exact correlation is mathematically impossible, as we know now, the founders of our modern maths applied a process to this problem involving estimation and approximation, beginning with how they quantified the circle using pi. A circle with radius 1/2, and thus diameter of base 1, will have a circumference of 2 pi radians. This was the initial establishment of the mathematical language from ancient times. It followed from this, in their reasoning, that a similar arrangement would exist in larger size scale circles and squares, whereby, for a circle with radius 1, a square with equal area would exist, each of whose sides measures the square root of pi. Hence was born out the series of estimations and approximations, constituting the process of squaring the circle for iterations above the base 1 unit square. Thus, a square with sides of the square root of pi, having the same area as a circle with a radius equaling 1, began being expanded to the iteration of the 1 by 1 equals 1 squared square, then to the 2 by 2 equals 4 square, then the 3 by 3 equals 9 square, and so on and so forth, as I have now demonstrated, literally ad infinitum. This completes this knowledge lecture on the ancient sacred geometrical process of squaring the circle. Take note that this simple geometry is lost on those who never learn of it, and wasted on those who learn of it but who do not study it on their own. While this knowledge may have been commonplace 2,500 years ago, it is most certainly lost knowledge for the vast majority of modern people, even we who are living in a post-internet age. Therefore, I would encourage you to study and share this information.